Imagine waking up every morning, working hard, doing everything society told you to do. Yet somehow you're still struggling with money. Bills keep coming. Opportunities seem rare. And no matter how disciplined you try to be, real wealth feels just out of reach. Meanwhile, there are people who appear to play by different rules. They multiply their money, build influence, and climb higher while others stay stuck. It almost feels unfair. But the truth is far more uncomfortable than unfairness. The brutal truth is that money follows power, and power follows strategy. This is where the ideas associated with Niccolò Machiavelli become incredibly relevant. Machiavelli studied how power actually works in the real world, not how people wish it worked. While his writings focused on politics and rulers, the same principles reveal something shocking about wealth. Those who gain power over systems gain control over money. Most people are taught to believe that hard work alone creates wealth. Work hard, stay loyal, follow the rules, and success will eventually arrive. But history shows that this belief is incomplete. Hard work without strategy often keeps people trapped in the very systems that enrich someone else. Look around at modern wealth structures. Corporations, financial markets, media influence, technology platforms. These are systems of power. And the people who rise to the top of them rarely do so by simply working harder than everyone else. They understand leverage, positioning, and perception. Machiavelli observed that those who control the game rarely reveal the real rules to the players. That means many people spend years mastering skills that increase their effort, but not their influence. They trade time for money. They depend on a salary. They wait for approval from employers, institutions, or gatekeepers. But those accumulating wealth think differently. They focus on control. Control of assets, control of networks, control of opportunities. Instead of as. Let's confront one of the most powerful beliefs that shapes the financial lives of millions of people. The idea that hard work automatically leads to wealth. From childhood, this message is repeated everywhere. Study hard. Work hard. Be responsible. Follow the path. And eventually success will arrive. It sounds fair. It sounds logical. And most importantly, it sounds comforting. But when you step back and observe the real world, something strange becomes obvious. Some of the hardest working people in society remain financially trapped. Factory workers labor for long hours. Construction workers exhaust their bodies every day. Nurses endure relentless shifts. Small shop owners work from sunrise to midnight. Their effort is undeniable. Their dedication is real. Yet many of them never reach true financial freedom. Meanwhile, another group seems to operate differently. They work, yes, but not always harder. Instead, they appear to place themselves in positions where money multiplies rather than slowly accumulates. This contradiction is exactly the type of reality that fascinated Niccolò Machiavelli. Machiavelli believed that people often cling to comforting illusions about how the world works. They prefer moral stories over strategic truths. The illusion of hard work is one of those stories. Hard work is necessary, but by itself it is rarely enough. Effort without leverage often keeps people running on a treadmill, moving constantly, but never truly advancing. Machiavelli observed that power belongs to those who understand systems rather than those who simply serve them. In modern economic life, systems determine where money flows. Think about the difference between a worker inside a system and someone who influences the system. A worker exchanges time for income. When the time stops, the income stops. Their financial ceiling is limited by hours, wages, and approval from someone higher in the hierarchy. But someone who owns part of the system operates under diff. Most people sit down as players. They move their pieces carefully, follow the rules, and try to win the match in front of them. They think the entire battle is happening on that board. But there is always someone else in the room who understands something deeper. Someone who didn't just learn how to play the game. They learned how the game itself was designed. That difference changes everything. In the real world of money and influence, most people are players inside systems created by others. They go to work inside companies, follow rules designed by institutions, and compete in environments where the structure already determines who benefits the most. They focus on improving their moves inside the game. But very few people step back and ask a far more powerful question. Who designed the board? This way of thinking closely mirrors the observations of Niccolò Machiavelli, who spent his life analyzing how power actually works beneath the surface. Machiavelli understood that those who control the structure of a system rarely need to fight within it. The system itself begins working in their favor. And when you look at wealth through this lens, something becomes very clear. The people who accumulate the most money often position themselves not as players, but as architects of the game. Think about the difference between working for a platform and owning the platform. If you drive for a ride-sharing company, you are part of the game. You follow the rules set by someone else. The pricing, the algorithm, the structure of the opportunity, all of it is decided above you. But the founders of the platform designed the environment where thousands of drivers operate. Every ride that happens strengthens the system they built. They don't need to drive the cars themselves. The same pattern appears everywhere. Employees generate value inside companies, but shareholders capture the long-term wealth. Content creators upload videos to platforms, but the platform owners One of them may have average skills, average experience, and average resources. But somehow, the moment they speak, people listen. Doors open. Opportunities appear. Investors show interest. Partners want to collaborate. The other person might actually be more talented, more hardworking, even more knowledgeable. Yet they struggle to get attention. Their ideas are ignored. Their efforts go unnoticed. What creates this difference? It isn't always competence. Often, it's perception. In the world of power and wealth, perception functions almost like a hidden currency. People invest in what they believe is valuable. They follow what appears strong. They trust what seems successful. And this is a principle that Niccolò Machiavelli understood centuries ago. Machiavelli studied how leaders gained loyalty and influence, and one of his most striking insights was that people judge more by appearances than by reality. In simple terms, people respond to what they see and what they believe. Very few people have the time or motivation to investigate everything deeply. Instead, they make quick judgments based on signals: confidence, reputation, status, presentation, and authority. In modern financial life, these signals can dramatically influence who gets opportunities and who gets overlooked. Think about entrepreneurs pitching their ideas. Two founders might present nearly identical business models, yet one receives funding while the other walks away rejected. Sometimes the difference isn't the idea itself, it's the story, the confidence, the credibility projected in the room. Perception shapes belief, and belief shapes decisions. Machiavelli believed that successful leaders understood this psychological reality. They didn't rely only on being capable. They also made sure they appeared capable. In the modern world, perception operates everywhere. Brands spend millions crafting images that make their products seem desirable and prestigious. Companies carefully shape TH. Imagine standing at the edge of a major decision. An opportunity appears in front of you. It carries risk. It carries uncertainty. There is no guarantee it will succeed. Every instinct inside you whispers caution. What if it fails? What if people judge you? What if you lose what little security you already have? So you wait. You analyze. You hesitate. You promise yourself that you will act when the moment feels perfect. But the perfect moment never arrives. Meanwhile, somewhere else, another person sees the same opportunity. They feel the same fear, the same uncertainty, the same risk, but they move anyway. Months later, the difference between these two decisions begins to grow wider and wider. One person is still waiting for certainty. The other is already building momentum. This dynamic fascinated Niccolò Machiavelli, who believed that fortune, what he called fortuna, often rewards those who act boldly rather than those who remain cautious. Machiavelli observed that history rarely favors the overly careful. Instead, it tends to elevate those willing to seize opportunities before others do. In the modern world of money and wealth, this principle appears again and again. Many people stay financially stuck not because they lack intelligence or ability, but because they wait too long to act. They spend years preparing, researching, planning, and imagining every possible outcome. They want guarantees. But wealth rarely grows from guaranteed situations. Think about major economic opportunities throughout history. Early investors in new technologies, early founders in emerging industries, early adopters of new platforms. These people acted when the future was uncertain. They didn't have perfect information. They didn't know exactly how things would unfold. What they had was courage to move while others hesitated. Machiavelli believed fortune behaves like a powerful river. If people prepare and act decisively, they can channel its flow.